Alright, since I want to just get straight into this tutorial, I don't want to like waste time, I will just skip an intro. Alright, first off, you need to download a few different things. You need to have Arma 3, obviously. You want to have Arma 3 tools. You want to go over to the Blender website, link in description, download this, do not use the Steam version. You want to go to this website, Macaro Tools, and I suggest downloading all of them. It's just good to have, they don't take up much space. And then also download my tutorial pack, also will be linked in the description, which will have a few different things that you need as well, including all the tutorial files that I will be using today. Alright, once you have that done, you want to head over to your C drive, you want to head over to your program files, your Blender Foundation, click into Blender 2.83, 2.83 again, scripts, add-ons. You want to take this Arma toolbox master file, open it, take this folder and drag it into here. This will be needed later on. This is just something needed, but this is also the directory. This is the default one. If you use some other directory, just go to the same location, Blender 2.83, 2.83 scripts and add-ons. Alright, after you have that done, you want to just head over back into the tutorial pack. You want to open up now the Arma rig version 6_2 blend. This will be your default basis for every animation, as you can see. It's right there. Just little controls for Blender. I'll just go over it now. To do this, to look around, it's hold middle mouse. Zoom in and out, it's scroll middle wheel. To pan around, it's hold shift and middle mouse, and you like kind of anchor onto a point. It's a bit annoying to get used to, but once you do that, it's fine. Alright, so I'll cover more in-depth controls in a second. To set up that Arma tools rig thing, you want to head over to edit, go down to preferences, go down to add-ons, and now you should see one called Arma toolbox. Make sure you tick that, as that will let you export the animation files as an RTM file, which means it's just an animation file, which lets it work in game. Alright, getting into the things of how an actual animation is made. I'm gonna just go over a few things. You see here there's an M16 A4 prop, I think, I don't know, it's some type of M16. This prop itself, if you move it around, you see it moves, but there's this black square. Wherever this prop goes, that's not where the weapon is. This black square is the placement of that weapon. So I'm gonna just place it back there. So whenever you want to just move around a primary weapon, this pistol also is a prop, by the way. There is no actual like black box underneath it. So if you make an animation with that pistol, you're gonna actually have to just place it in their hands after you're done with it. Working it a little bit. There we go. Alright, yeah, just also how I entered the controls there. At the top left, you'll see a little notch sticking out. Click on it. You have four different controls here. It just depends on what you're more comfortable with. You got move, rotate, and scale. So move, you move along the X, Y, and Z axis. Rotate, self-explanatory, you rotate. Scale, you don't need to mess with that. I mean, I prefer to use transform as it lets me do everything quickly. So I'm just more a fan of that. And also, if you noticed, the launcher also has a black box, so that also helps. But okay, getting into like the things of making a simple animation. So we'll be making a simple one right now. So you want to just roughly get the weapon in his hand. Thing is, with these blend files, like, you know yourself, not every weapon is the exact same build. But what happens is, along this black box, the trigger, the like stock, and like everything will be kind of in the same line, but they'll just be different spaces apart if they're a different weapon. So just do keep that in mind. Alright, just extra controls. As you can see, there's a bunch of little arrows around everywhere. Each of that does something. For the ones at his knees, make his knee go in and out. The ones behind him make his just elbow turn like that. So if you make an animation, let's say, where he's pointing to the left like that, and you want his elbow to be out, you take this and you drag it outwards. Alright, then there's two arrows in here. That's for his shoulder, if you want to turn it or somewhat. Then you have these ones next to the fist. That's his fingers closed or open. Then this fist thing, if you move it along the green rotate, it's like just closing the fist. So if you want to do something with a closed fist, that's very handy. These little green circles, they like rotate the forearm. You can't really see it. Well, yeah, you can see it there. I don't usually mess with that, just let it be how it is. Alright, now just we want to make him grip the gun. Will look like he's gripping the gun. Well, there are two types of animations in like Arma. There's ones that you use a script that like grips the pistol grip no matter where it is, so his arm will go out to it. And then there's a script you can use where it doesn't grip the weapon. I'll be covering both of them today. So since I'm just going to be making an animation, you obviously don't have to follow along what I do. You can do whatever you feel like. If you're getting the hang of this, if you're not, just have a look through what I'm doing. Just to move his hand, by the way, you want to mess only with this red like triangle looking thing. If you move his forearms, it's just going to get messed up. So yeah, just as a basis, let's just go over some simple animation. Just let's have him hold a weapon and maybe have him grip the the grip of the weapon. Just have him hold it. Alright, so one thing you want to look out for is if you use the script where he automatically grips the pistol grip, don't have his hand going at a too sharp angle, because it's going to cause a very harsh looking 90-degree turn in his wrist. So what I suggest you do, once you have the hand in place where you want it to be, you grab the weapon and kind of rotate it a bit and like move it out so his hand doesn't get bent so much. Alright, let me just also move his elbow out a bit. It's just a lot of trial and error with these kind of things. You just try it out, see what it looks like, then you go back in. Alright, you see his elbow is in his like torso, just not to worry, it's fine. We'll fix it. Alright, I want him to like kind of grip the like railguard from the top. So let's have his hand like this, and then I can use this little fist thing to kind of close it so it looks more natural. You can manipulate each of the fingers, by the way, if you want to. If you want to do something precise, you can manipulate each one of them on the different axes and everything. Personally, I just use the fist thing whenever I can because it's like automated and it works majority of the time. But obviously sometimes you need to fix it because I want him gripping that, but now you see his thumb's going into the weapon, so you need to just grab his thumb, pull it out like that. Alright, and you see that looks okay. So just keep working at him. You can also like mess with all of these rings. Everything here has a purpose. It's not just there for show. Just if you're making any crouch or anything animations, these little boxes around their feet is where the sole of their foot will touch. So if I want his foot like there, you can see that little box is like where his foot will be at. So let's make it a walking animation look. This red line is just where you want to keep everything too. You want to make it look kind of natural-ish. I mean, a lot of the time what works for me is I just go on Google and I'm like, oh yeah, people walking, and I just kind of base it off that. Let's have him look to the side as well. Alright, so he's looking off to the side, walking. This little triangle in his torso, like in his hips, is like squatting him up or down. So if you're making a crouch animation, you want to drag this down. That's what you want to look at. Alright, so he's just walking and gripping his weapon. I'll have him turn to the right a bit as well. Alright, so that'll be okay for first one with just the guy walking. See, the issue might be his wrist will be a bit wrecked. I think it's the right word for it. So I'm just gonna manipulate the gun a bit more. I'm gonna have to redo that, but tough luck. A lot of this is trial and error. If you don't have patience, I really don't recommend this, because you will go insane. So you may see that his hand isn't perfectly in the gun. That's alright, because I will be using a script to fix that and have him grip the weapon automatically, which means I won't have to worry about all of that. So I'm gonna just fix that hand, get it into place. There we go. Okay, that looks okay. But now once you have your animation done, this is a crucial part. You want to click on this red
circle,
then you want to hold control, which will kind of like snap things into place, and you want to drag the blue arrow up until it snaps on there, because now he's on the level plane, which means he won't be halfway into the ground. So once you're done with this, one thing that isn't mandatory but I do recommend is when you're like finished an animation, you go to save as and save the blend file as well. So if you ever want to go back to it, let's say like 1 or 2 weeks, you realize I made a mistake here, or I want to change something, you can go back to it. That's what I didn't do at the start and it messed me up a bit. But okay, once you have that done, you want to click on a file, export, and now with that Arma rig, like the workshop thing, it'll let you export as an RTM. So you want to export as an RTM to the RTM folder. I'm just going to name this tut_anim1, and we will get it exported out of here. Then what you want to do is you want to go back into here and into RTM. Don't mind this, the name of this. Pretty much this is just CFG file. You want to make one CFG file for every single animation that you have. So I have my CFG file there. I'm going to name it the exact same as that one. You want to do this for every animation as well. By the way, I suggest you do work in your project folder. That's where you'll need Arma tools. Once you launch it, you want to just set up the, you want to mount the P drive. That's what you want to do. Alright, so once you have that there, just that's sorted now. You have the animation file, it's fine. It can go into the game. I'll get into that in a second, but yeah, there are like timestamp things on the length of the video at the bottom, so if you want to just skip past this part of me making one without a weapon, feel free to do so. You're not being forced to watch this if you want to just go over the script. Okay, so now I want to make one animation without a weapon. So just there again, go to my controls at the left, transform. You could also move the guy up the axis at the start already. And what I do is I just grab the rocket launcher and the M16 and I just drag it the hell out of here, so it won't show up like next to him whenever anyone goes to use the animation. Alright, so that's that. We can just move the pistol away, as this is just in Blender, this doesn't show up an actual Arma. Alright, so I just want to have, let's say, a guy with his like hands just on his hips, I guess. That'll work. So let's just get to that then. Or no, actually I'm gonna make him have his hands like in his pockets kind of looking thing. That's what I'll go for. Like, cause guys don't have actual pockets in Arma, you just kind of have to shove his hand into the side of his hips, roughly where the pocket will be. You want to just bring the elbow out as well, because it can get glitched if you're using a vest, because this will be like for a civilian animation, you know. Like you wouldn't use this for a military guy. Maybe you would, but that's why you want to bring the elbows out, just so it doesn't get clipped into any vest or anything like that. You want to be just safe with that. Alright, so it's just going to be a simple one. I recommend always maybe like if it's just a standing animation, just move his feet around. Don't make it the exact same, because every single like Arma rig blend file has the same stance in it. So messing about with it will be quite useful. I just want to have him looking off into the side. There we go. That's a simple animation, took a few minutes to make. Simple as, doesn't get any harder than that. Alright, export, RTM animation, tutorial, RTM. And let's name this tut_anim2. Alright, there we go. Now we're going to exit out of Blender, that's it, we're done with the two animations. We want to copy this CFG file and make one that has a number 2 for the tut_anim2 file. So once you have these in your RTM, you're done with that. You want to go back to your tutorial folder or whatever you name it. It doesn't have to be tutorial. You can name this your mod name, and it does not have to be in a parent folder like this. This is just so you have everything in one folder. This is the mod folder itself. You want to open up the config.cpp with any like type of not coding software you have. I mean, I use Sublime Text. You can use Notepad++, whatever makes you feel comfortable. Your class, you can name it whatever you want. I suggest naming it your mod name. That's what I do. Then when you move down here, you have two scripts. This top one is for the weapons one, and this bottom one is for the non-weapon one. That's what I use personally. So what you want to do is, this will be the weapon one, so we'll name it, I guess, tut, and then 1. And we'll name this tut, and then 2. That's the name of those. In the file, that's your directory. So it's gonna be in here, so I wanna copy this line up top, and then I want to paste it in here. Then I need to copy it one more time just to get the name of the file.rtm. So this is just the directory in your project drive. It will be looking in the project drive, by the way. You need to have it all in the project drive. You need to make your Arma 3 tools work and mount that P drive. But now just going over these little scripts right here, run right hand IK curve and left hand IK curve. Right hand IK curve, it can either be a 1 or a 0. 1 means the guy is forced to hold the pistol grip, and 0 means it's wherever the right hand is, it's going to be there. Left hand IK curve means if it's on 1, it's going to be holding the rail guard like to where it's meant to be if he's holding the weapon properly. Like wherever it normally grips, if you're playing the game, then it's going to be gripping there. If it's at 0, like that's what I want, because the hand's going to be on the top. It's like my customly placed hand, so that's why that's 0. I mean, I suggest having a smaller code here for the like animations that are civilian, because there's no point of having a bunch of these lines, because it just doesn't do anything good. But yeah, once you're done with that, you want to make sure your PBO project is open. You want to make sure that in your Arma 3 directory, you go into add-ons and make a folder there. I just have it at add tutorial because that's the mod name, and you want to go in there, you want to select that folder and then select it, and you want to make sure that the source folder is the one in your P drive, so tutorial pack tutorial. This will just make a PBO of it just to make life easy for you. So we want to crunch that now. I should just have a noisy output on, because if you have any error, it will show you why it's having an error. So now we have that done. We have the mod in our Arma 3 directory, so you just want to go over to your Arma 3 directory. You want to go over to add-ons, and you have tutorials right there. What you want to do now is you want to launch your Arma 3. I suggest running your Arma 3 when you're just doing animations along with Polpox's animation like tools, because they're so handy, because having to go into the animation viewer is just a bit of a hassle. I'm gonna link his mod down in the description as well. I suggest having it, it's very good. Like there's no reason to not have it. Alright, so we wanna drag this mod in, load it, then we wanna filter for Polpoxes, and now you wanna just play. This shouldn't take too long depending on how good your computer is. Alright, once you're in game, you want to go into editor, virtual reality, go into there. That's the easiest map to load, so I recommend launching that. Alright, just a quick side note for all of you as well. If you're making any swim animations, there's a swimming pool on the top right of the map here. It's very big. Look, this is a person for scale. But okay, let's check these animations out. Alright, so let's just get a marksman, and let's get a civilian for the animations. Alright, so using Polpox's animation viewer, just Control Q launches it in, very self-explanatory, just search for the animation. Okay, well, see, with that script, his hand instantly goes to where it should be. See, if I had the left hand, IK curve 1, his hand would like bend around the grip here to grip it where it's supposed to be. But yeah, you can see it's kind of just a trial and error thing. So let's just select it by Control C and then Control E to put it on. And then let's check the other one. Just the guy, hands in his pockets, nothing to do. So there you go. That's how you make the animations in Arma 3. All the relevant links will be in the description. Also my Twitter if you want to show me some love. And yeah, thanks for watching, guys.